Imagine you could travel back in time, back to meet your ancient ancestors. You picture the danger, the animals, the cold. But something else would hit you first, the smell. It would slam into you like a wall. You would gag before you said a word. They, meanwhile, would not notice a thing, because to them, that smell was just life. The past did not just look different, it reeked. Welcome to the true scent of human history. For most of that history, there was no soap, no showers, no deodorant, no laundry. None of it had been invented yet. In fact, the war on body odor is brand new. The first deodorant appeared only in 1888. The first antiperspirant came in 1903. That is barely over 100 years ago. Before that, humans simply smelled like humans. For hundreds of thousands of years, every single one of your ancestors reeked. And nobody around them thought it was strange. Body odor was the background of every life. Now picture a real Stone Age camp. Bodies caked in sweat, grease, and dirt, skin smeared with smoke from the fire, hair matted and never once washed with soap, clothes made of raw, untreated animal hide. Everyone sleeping pressed together for warmth, the air thick and heavy with body odor. Imagine that smell with no escape, ever. It would be almost unbearable to your modern nose. And to them, this was completely normal. Their noses had never known anything cleaner. But where does that powerful smell even come from? The answer is hiding in your own skin. Your body is a walking scent factory. You carry around 3 million sweat glands. On a hot day, they pour out liters of sweat. But here's the strange part. Most of that sweat does not actually smell. You have two very different kinds of sweat gland. One kind just makes watery sweat to cool you. That type is almost completely odorless. The other kind is where the trouble begins. These are called apocrine glands. They sit mainly in your armpits and groin, and they switch on only when you hit puberty. That is why young children barely smell at all. These glands make a thick, oily kind of sweat. By itself, even that sweat is nearly scentless. The real smell needs one more ingredient: bacteria. Your skin is covered in tiny living bacteria. They feast on the oily sweat as food. And as they eat, they release pungent compounds. That sour, sharp funk is the bacteria's waste. So your body odor is not really yours. It is the smell of millions of bacteria feeding. It is less your scent and more theirs. Scientists found one bug does much of the work, a skin microbe with a real taste for sweat. And humans are weirdly, wonderfully built for this. We have lost almost all of our body fur, yet we kept dense scent glands beneath the skin. Our armpits pack so many glands together that scientists treat the cluster as its own organ. We have more of these glands than almost any animal. Nature did not want us to smell faintly. Nature built us to broadcast our scent loudly. We are, quite literally, the scented ape. Scent leaks out of us in a dozen quiet ways. So your ancestors were not failing at hygiene. They were running their bodies exactly as designed. But why would evolution build a smelly human? Surely a strong stench is only a downside. Hold that thought, because the answer is wild. Because here is where it becomes about you. That smell was never useless waste. It was a message written in chemistry. Your body odor is a kind of ID badge. It carries hidden information about who you are, and other people read it without even knowing. Scientists proved this with a famous experiment. It is known as the sweaty t-shirt study. Researchers gave men plain t-shirts to wear. The men wore them for 2 nights straight. No soap, no cologne, no scented anything. The shirts soaked up pure body odor. Then women were asked to smell each shirt and to rate which scents they liked most. The results were genuinely surprising. The women were not choosing at random. They preferred the smell of certain men whose immune genes differed from their own. Let me explain why that matters so much. Your immune system is shaped by special genes. Scientists call this gene group the MHC. It helps decide which diseases you can fight. A child gets immune genes from both parents. If the parents' genes are very different, the child can fight a wider range of disease. 2 different sets of genes mean broader protection, so mixing immune genes builds stronger children, and somehow the nose can sense those genes. Through smell alone, without a single test. The women's noses were reading immune codes, steering them toward healthier future children. All of it decided by a single, silent sniff. There was even a strange twist in the study. Women taking the birth control pill chose differently. Their preference flipped to the opposite men. The pill mimics the body state of pregnancy, and that quietly changed what their nose wanted. Your sense of smell is deeper than you think. It has been guiding human choices for ages, quietly, invisibly, beneath your awareness. Your nose was secretly running the show. And smell is not the same for everyone. One tiny gene controls how much you stink. It has a code name, a BCC11. It decides whether your sweat feeds the bacteria. In most people, the gene is switched on. Their sweat carries the compounds bacteria love, so the bacteria thrive and the armpits smell. But some people carry a switched-off version. Their sweat never delivers the bacteria's food, so they make almost no underarm smell at all. This quiet version is common across East Asia. Around 80 to 90% of people there carry it. In Europe, it is rare, only a few percent. The same gene controls something odd, too. It decides whether your earwax is wet or dry. Switched on means wet earwax and body odor. Switched off means dry earwax and little smell, so your earwax secretly predicts your scent. Two clues hidden inside one little gene. Your body keeps stranger secrets than you know, but the strangest part is what you do daily. You are smelling people all the time. You just have no idea that you do it. Humans constantly secretly sniff themselves. We touch our faces and breathe ourselves in, and we quietly sniff the people around us. Scientists caught us doing something revealing. Watch closely after two people shake hands. Moments later, one will touch their own face. They are secretly smelling their own hand, sampling the scent the other person left behind. We do this without ever noticing, and it shapes who we like and who we avoid. Researchers even built a machine that smells people. They called it an electronic nose. They tested close friends who clicked instantly, the kind of friendship that forms in seconds. The machine sniffed both friends in each pair, and it found their body odors were alike. Friends, it turned out, smell similar to each other, more similar than random strangers do. Then the scientists went one step further. They smelled total strangers before they ever met. Then they let those strangers talk in pairs. The machine could predict who would get along, just from the chemistry of their scent. Your nose was making the call before you even spoke. You may be choosing friends by smell, and you never even knew it was happening. Your nose has been picking your people all along, a silent sense working quietly behind your back. So step back and look at the whole picture. Your ancestors lived inside a cloud of scent. To us it sounds disgusting and overwhelming, but to them it was rich with meaning. Every person carried a chemical signature. Health, mood, family, and genes, all in the air. They could read each other without a word. Their noses were doing constant, silent work. Now think about your own daily routine. You wake up and scrub yourself with soap. You coat your armpits in deodorant. You spray on perfume or scented mist. You wash away every trace of your real smell, and then you cover it with something fake. You have spent your life erasing your scent. The very signal evolution worked ages to perfect. Your natural smell is not just dirt and funk. It is a message your body was built to send, a kind of honest resume about your health, and we have chosen to silence it completely. We washed away a sense we did not know we used, an entire world of scent, gone quiet. We may be the first humans in all of history who can barely smell each other at all. Our ancestors swam in a sea of information. We have scrubbed that whole sea away, so the smell you are taught to hate was once one of your most useful senses. Ancient humans did not just tolerate their stink. They were reading it their entire lives. Every sniff told them something real and true, a warning, a welcome, or a quiet attraction. We traded all of that to smell like flowers. Maybe that is a fair trade for modern life. Crowded trains would be unbearable otherwise. But something real was lost along the way. A whole language we once spoke with our noses. A quiet conversation happening under every greeting. So next time you catch your own scent, do not be so quick to wash it away. That smell is older than any words. It is one of the oldest messages humans ever sent. Older than fire and older than speech itself. And your nose still remembers how to read it. So breathe in just once and remember, you are a scented ape like all the rest, and that was never something to be ashamed of.